Good morning, soul friends. I hope you're doing well. Click. So, a little bit of honoring of Joe Biden today. So, I know that we got that sad news a couple days ago. And I wanted to spend a couple minutes before I do the spiritual message and political message from the Lead Team Collective, from all of our spirit teams, and see what they want us to know today. But I thought it might be nice just to take a look at the things that Joe Biden accomplished when he was president. So I did ask AI, which is really interesting, and I'll tell you why. So, okay, I had to type this in 3 times, okay? So I typed in, can you outline in quick bullet points all the positive things Joe Biden did as president in the US and around the world? Okay, this is on DeepSeek, okay? So it started outlining, and then it said, sorry, and it removed the outline, and it said, sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. And I'm like, what? So then I typed, what? I said, you were just outlining them. That's weird. Like as if I'm talking to a human, right? So I'm starting to get a little suspicious, like, oh, well, okay, this is interesting. And then AI wrote back to me, it sounds like there might have been a misunderstanding or a technical hiccup. Yeah, probably a technical hiccup. If I was just outlining something and then suddenly stopped or repeated myself, that wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. Sometimes glitches happen. Can you clarify? So then I asked again, and it did the same thing. And then I asked again, and it did the same thing. And then I asked one more time, and it gave me an outline. I don't know. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Let's not go all conspiracy theory on this whole thing. However, I do have to admit, so I asked, this is actually really good. It's good to test it out. I'm all for new technology and testing things out, right? But so I asked for the best. So I had a whole bunch of peaches, like frozen peaches, plums, nectarines from last fall that I wanted to make a dessert out of. So I said, well, I told AI DeepSeek what I had. And I said, so I have these frozen, fruit. Fruit. I was going to call it berries, but it's not berries. So I asked for it to give me look at all the best recipes out there, all the recipes, that have gotten reviews, and give me the best recipe. And it gave me a recipe. I made it last night. It was the worst thing I have ever baked in my entire life. And I used to be a baker, not like a baker and not a professional baker, but I used to bake a lot. And it was the worst thing I have ever I wouldn't call it baking. It was a cobbler basically, but I should have just used my own instincts and made my own. Anyways, it was not good. So, so much for, so obviously be careful of the advice we get. I mean, I always use discernment anyways, but it's just kind of interesting. Okay. So this is the outline for Joe. So way to go, Joe. And I think obviously praying for him is an amazing thing we can do. It's really hard to hear that he might have a life-threatening illness, and that he might go before, some lower vibrational entities might go. But there's a part of me that just, definitely pray for his comfort. This is just me. Definitely praying for his comfort, for whatever is best for his and highest, and the best for everybody, all of our best and highest. I just don't want to get in the way. Did he ask for our prayers? He might have. I don't know. I don't want to get in the way of what is divine timing for him and what is the best for the world. If it's best for him to move to transition, and if it's best for the world for him to transition, I don't personally want to get in the way of that. So it's just something to think about, because I'm sure a lot of people I definitely felt sad. I was like, oh man. But then I keep going back to all the stuff that I'm learning and remembering. I shouldn't even say learning, all the stuff I'm remembering that where we're transitioning to. And it's like, yeah, that's amazing. He's put up with a lot of 3D crap, you know? So for him to be able to transition and, go see the loved ones that he hasn't seen. And we know he has a really deep faith, so, but I'm sure it's still very hard. It's very hard. Okay, so anyways, so let's take a quick look. There is just a quick bullet point list that I got finally of Joe's achievements as president. Okay, so domestic U.S. achievements, economic recovery and job growth, oversaw strong post-pandemic recovery with record job creation, over 15 million jobs by 2024, and low unemployment, under 4% for extended periods. The Inflation Reduction Act 2022 lowered prescription drug costs, invested in clean energy, and reduced the federal deficit. Just saying. Bipartisan Infrastructure Law 2021, 1.2 trillion for roads, bridges, broadband, and clean water projects. Then under climate and energy, the largest ever U.S. investment in clean energy and climate resilience. Rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement in 2021. Under healthcare, capped insulin at $35 a month for seniors. That was a huge deal. They brought that up a lot during the campaign. Medicare, and expanded Affordable Care Act subsidies. So more and more people could get healthcare for less costs, which is amazing. Tackled COVID-19 with widespread vaccine distribution and economic relief. American Rescue Plan. Now, I know there's controversy even among the spiritual community about the vaccines, but it's what he followed the science. It's what we know to do in the 3D, right? So I'm not going to poo-poo him for that. I don't even, I don't really know what the arguments are, and that's not what this channel is about. So I don't even want to go there. Social and equity policies. He appointed Ketanji, is that how you say her name? Or he or she. Oh no, it's a woman. Brown Jackson, first Black woman to the Supreme Court, pardoned federal marijuana offenses and promoted criminal justice reform, strengthened LGBTQ plus protections, including marriage equality law. And then under gun safety, first major federal gun reform in 30 years. First major federal gun reform in 30 years. 30. Bipartisan Safer Communities Act 2022. I wonder if that's still around. Global achievements, foreign policy and alliances, rebuilt NATO unity against Russian aggression, so support for Ukraine, strengthened alliances in Asia to counter China's influence, ended the Afghanistan war in 2021 despite chaotic withdrawal. And my understanding, if you look at go into ground news, so you just get a bit more balanced information, is that the chaotic withdrawal had everything to do with how Trump left things. So just saying. Now, was it perfect? No. But if you go back and hear the story, unfortunately, I don't know the details off the top of my head right now, but I remember hearing what the real truth was about that. And I was like, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, climate leadership. We're almost done here. Climate leadership. Well, see, we're not, it's amazing. There's a lot of things he did, right? And we're always, the news and everything, it's always so focused on all the negative stuff and people's suspicions and, just creating controversy. It's nice to see the success, the things that he did, right? So climate leadership revived U.S. global climate efforts, including global methane pledge. Crisis response led international aid for Ukraine, 75 billion plus in military and humanitarian support. My understanding, could be incorrect, is that a lot of the military support that he sent over were old machinery that we already had. So it wasn't like they spent extra money. It's stuff that we already had. So brokered a rare Israel-Hamas ceasefire, 2021, and maritime deal between Israel and Lebanon. Technology and trade, CHIPS Act, 2022, boosted U.S. semiconductor production to compete with China. Inflation Reduction Act incentivized clean technology manufacturing. So, notable challenges for balance, though you asked for positives. That's what AI told me. High inflation, 2022 to 2023. Border security struggles, absolutely. And mixed public approval ratings. So those were the balance. Absolutely, why not? Way to go, Joe. Cup of Joe. Cup of tea. So please don't get all in the comments and argue about stuff. That's not what this is about. It's just to honor, do a little honoring of someone who provided leadership he's been providing leadership for this country his entire life and doing the best he can. I truly believe he's been doing the best he can. So this isn't an argument about all those different things. That was just a little honoring of where he's at and sending him love and light. We can all do that right now. Just send him love and light and just honoring the things that he's done with I want you to check yourself when I was going through those things. How many times did your brain want to argue with what I said? How many times did you want to go to judgment? Because we're on a spiritual journey here and that's one of the things that we're trying not to do. Because guess what happens when you go to judgment? Your vibration lowers, okay? So by me sharing the positive things, let's stay in the positive so that we can keep our vibrations higher, okay? So just check that with yourself. And when you want to start getting into the comments about, but this and that and this and that, what you're doing is lowering your own vibration and you're lowering the vibration of the community, okay? For anyone who's going to have to read that. So just keep that in mind. Is that the influence you want to have around people, Okay, so we've got a couple messages for today. They're really wonderful. So I have a spiritual message and a political message, okay? So I am going to read the spiritual message just for continuity. Read the spiritual message and then do the cards, and then the political message and then do the cards, okay? All right, so the spiritual message, again, if anyone's new here, welcome. I'm Karen. Using a pendulum. Here's the pendulum, one of them that I have, and a pendulum map, okay? And getting some messages. They spelled out. So I asked for the lead team collective, which is all of our spirit teams in the community, so including yours, okay? So this is a message from all of our spirit teams together, okay? Spiritual message. Aha! Why are you with them? So it sounds like they want us to evaluate our relationships. That's the first thing I thought. I said, okay, you want us to evaluate our relationships? Okay. And that doesn't mean, my intuition doesn't say, well, that doesn't mean dump everybody. It just means take a look at each person that you're hanging out with and decide, are they raising your vibration or are they lowering your vibration? Are they contributing to your spiritual growth or are they lowering it? Or are they making your life harder or are they making your life easier? There's all these different ways to look at it, but they want us to look at our relationships apparently. Okay. So why are you with them? And elemental is the card deck they wanted me to use. Okay, so let's take a look and see if we can get some, maybe you'll get some direct messages, okay? So why are we with them? Why are we with them? All right, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this community and our channels so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. I keep thinking I need to add, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and the lead team collective. I need to add that in there. As I forget, I'll just recorrect myself. And the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Okay, so I'm calling in the lead team collective right now. This is the name. I asked them on the pendulum, with the pendulum, if they had a name for anyone who would be stopping by and listening to any of the videos. So your team, your spirit team is involved in this conversation, okay? That's what I wanted to have happen for this community, so that it wasn't just my spirit teams or my intuition talking to you. I want it to be your teams. And ultimately, you clicking into your team. You listening to your own intuition, right? So whatever this means to you, it's going to mean something different for all of us. Why are you with them? Okay, so why are you with them? They wanted us to think about. It's a fair question. Okay, let's just see if they've got anything in the cards here. This is the deck they wanted me to use. What else do you guys have us? Thank you. Do you see that little pop? I don't know if you can see me shuffling, but okay, let's just see if there's any others. Anything else you guys want us to know? Thank you. About why you are with them. Okay, so I do have 3, so now I'm a little suspicious they want me to do a pick one, so let's see. I could keep shuffling, actually. They might not want me to. Okay, so you guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where everybody's at. Hello. Okay, so is this a pick 3, a pick 1 opportunity for us? No? Okay, all right. So do you want me to read all 3 of these cards? Yes. Okay, but not a pick 1 necessarily. So you want all of us to look at each message? Yes. Okay. Are there any cards in front of me you want me to remove? No. Okay. Are there any cards in the deck you want me to pull? No. Okay. All right. So we do have the 3, but apparently not. I mean, you could still do the pick 1 if you wanted to. Okay, let's see what they have to say. I get excited about this. All right, so why are you with them? Why are you with them? Okay, well, let's see. So here's the image. Oh, a lot of animals. So it's a 39, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's a 3 card. And this says, oh, groundedness, gravity, groundedness. Oh, what does that mean to you? Does it mean we're with animals to ground us? Are they asking us to appreciate, oh, don't pause there. You just got a little bit of the political message. Okay. So groundedness and gravity with animals around us. That's interesting. So why are you with them? So it's maybe not even assessing. It's more like, it also could be appreciating why we're with the people we're with, right? So not just that. Okay. Here's the second card in the image. And this looks like it's a 25. So the number is a 7. So we have a 7 and a 3. Why are you with them? Speaking your word. Wait, is that what it says? Yeah, speaking your word, voice. Speaking your word, voice. Okay. And the last one, we'll read about them then. Oh, another three. Another three. Again, looking at why are we with them? And how else are you intuiting this? Like it could be, like I didn't even think about the animals, right? So this one is beginnings, east, beginnings. Okay. Yeah, how else are you intuiting, why are you with them? Them could be maybe have multiple meanings. Let me know what you thought right away. How did you, what download did you get when you heard that message? Why are you with them? Okay, so number 39. Okay, let me just see if there's how long this is. So this is interesting that they wanted me to use elemental, the elements, for this question. Why are you with them? It's just interesting. Okay, gravity is the natural force that causes all things with mass and energy to be attracted to each other. Gravity. This includes planets, galaxies, light, and yes, even apples. The famous story about Isaac Newton and the apple actually did happen, but not in the way most people think. While there is no evidence of young Isaac being bumped on the head by a falling apple, he was sitting in the orchard and observed an apple falling from a tree. He noticed every apple fell the same way, straight down, not sideways or somehow else impeded, and he wondered why. This inspired him to formulate the law of universal gravitation, which states that every body in the universe is attracted to every other body, B-O-D-Y, with a force that is directionally proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay, whatever. His famous apple tree continues to grow at Worthsthorpe Manor. Wow, I want to go there. I didn't realize that. Okay, that was a little too much for my brain. But what I got was like, I have to think about this. That every body, and it's not everybody, it's everybody because they're separate words, in the universe is attracted to every other body with a force that is directionally proportional to the product of their masses, whatever that part we have some scientists here, please explain. Let's go on and find what, the part I can actually understand. Newton wasn't the first scientist or great thinker to consider there were such a thing as gravity. The ancient Greek philosophers proposed there was a center of gravity within a triangle. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Gravity still remains one of the most studied forces in physics. Gravity is a fantastic element to include in your workings for groundedness. Okay, so it's all about groundedness. I should have remembered that, groundedness. And when you feel untethered because of trauma or things going too fast, breathing, putting your awareness in your feet, and asking gravity to do its thing is good, solid magic. Okay. How do you interpret this in terms of like why that message, in terms of why are you with them? Why are you with them? So you need to think about that. I am going to go with my first inclination of animals grounding, the appreciation of having animals in my life and the groundedness that they provide. That's where I'm going with that. For me, that's how I'm seeing it. Okay. In relation to the spiritual message. Okay. So let me know what you thought about that. Okay. 25. Voice. Let's see. Okay. So use your voice, speak up, sing your song out to the universe. It's often not what you say, but how you say it. Speak plainly and tell your story. Okay, so why are you with them? Why are you with them? Use your voice, speak up, sing your song out to the universe. It's often not what you say, but how you say it. Speak plainly and tell your story. Beautiful. Okay. So I want to go back to that 39 and see if they had a little paragraph in the beginning. I just missed it. Oh, it's really just seek a grounded perspective. That would have been much easier, but the story was okay. Seek a grounded perspective. Okay. Okay. And then the last one, 3. Let's see, what else are we getting out here? Okay. Beginnings. Worry not. A new dawn is breaking. Let go of the old and embrace the new. So why are you with them? Let go of the old and embrace the new. Flow forward without heaviness or anxiety. That's beautiful. New ways of being are calling to you. Speak up with a clear voice. Do not resist change. Okay, that's okay. Speak up with a clear voice. Do not resist change. And as change is happening, we can stay grounded. Okay, staying grounded. Okay, so that all made sense to me now that I got all 3 of those. Does that make sense to you? Okay, very helpful. Especially just reminding us, worry not, a new dawn is breaking. Let go of the old and embrace the new. Flow forward without heaviness or anxiety. New ways of being are calling to you. Okay, so just really good encouragement. Okay, so the political message, really interesting. This is not a political prediction. I asked them today to give us a political message that is in our highest and best and for our spiritual growth. Okay, for our spiritual growth. They said, wait for love to win. Wait for love to win. Which implies to me that love will win. Okay. So you guys, when you said wait for love to win, are you implying that love will win? Yes. Does love always win? Yes. So if we carried a story to the very end, any story to the very end, would we see love winning? Yes. Okay. Even really hard stories, traumatic stories, would we see love winning? Yes. But the problem is we don't always see the end. We don't always see, we hear so many stories, but we never hear, all we hear is what happened right away, like just the essence of the story. But we never hear the end of all these stories that we're getting bombarded with. We should really just be paying attention to the end of our own stories. Pay attention to things that are actually going on in your life and look at the end of those and how love won at the end of those. So, because that's all you have control over is what's around you, because I think what causes me so much anxiety is when I'm looking at all the things like the tornadoes that are hitting right now, or, and you're like, oh my God, I can't even imagine, but we don't know at the end of that, how is love winning when something happens like that? How are maybe the people whose house got destroyed, love, and I shouldn't say maybe, it will. Love will win for them. Doesn't look like it right now, but whatever they need to go through, whatever they even want, they want that, to experience that. I know that sounds ridiculous, but love will win at the end of their story. And we get so bombarded with the actual events, we never get to hear how love happened. which is why I did a call out yesterday in the post in the channel to say, tell me the examples of when you see love winning, because I want to be doing more and more of that. I want to be having that conversation. So they are telling us, our guys, the lead team collective, is wait for love to win. Wait for love to win. Okay, I'm going to ask for one card just for time's sake. They wanted me to use Divine Beloved. Divine Beloved. So what do you guys want us to, any other messages you want us to have for wait for love to win? Wait for love to win. Isn't that amazing? So what that tells me, I don't even need a card to be honest. Hold judgment about anything until you see how love won. Excuse me. Wait for love. Hold judgment on anything until you can see how love has won. Divine Beloved. Divine Beloved. Do you guys have a card? Wait for love to win. Yep. Reserve judgment. I'm just reminding myself. Reserve judgment until, or opinions. I guess judgment is opinion. Opinions, judgment, until I see how love won. I'm going to start asking. I'm not getting any cards either, so they might be telling me, yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. So was that the message that you wanted to have? Do you want me to pull a card? So they said yes. Do you want me to pull a card? No. Okay. So they gave me that download, which was great. So I didn't need to pull a card for that. Okay, you guys, I hope this was helpful. I know, like, if they give me a prediction, they give us a prediction. If they give us a message, they give us a message. And we, obviously I'm going to trust our lead team collectives. So this is what they want you to think about today. I definitely will. All right. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.